did. I did end up with more tomatoes than I needed. So what do I do when I have all these tomatoes? There's different things that you can do with extra tomatoes. You can actually just take your tomatoes and throw them in a bag that you can seal and put them in the freezer just like that. No preparation, don't need to remove the skins or anything, you just freeze them whole. And when you're making a soup or a sauce, you can actually just take those tomatoes that are frozen and just throw them right in. So that's one easy, quick way that you can preserve your leftover tomatoes. Like I always say when I'm doing my tomatoes, so my just canned tomatoes or my salsa, I was saying when I was removing the skins to save the skins because we're going to do something with those. So what I'm going to be doing with those a little later on is I'm going to be dehydrating them. So in the meantime, until I have time to do this, I've got them frozen. So I will dehydrate them when I have a little bit more time. What I'm going to do with these leftover tomatoes is I'm going to run them through my food mill because I want to maybe make eventually either a pizza sauce or a basil tomato soup. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do, or maybe I'll make both, who knows. But the pizza sauce I've already tried in the past and one of the recipes, and I wasn't too crazy about it. It just didn't have that something special that I was looking for. So I may try it again this year, but just maybe freeze it instead, and that way I'll be able to really play around with the ingredients and put what I want in it. So all that being said, I am going to juice my tomatoes today. So the way I do it is I actually have this mixer that I absolutely love. It's one of those appliances that you wonder how you ever did without, but I actually love it. This is a food mill that I purchased separately that attaches to my mixer, and I can use it to, it has a lot of uses, but one of them is to actually juice things like tomatoes. And then it just fits right in the end of the mixer, and you just tighten this screw here at the end, and you're good to go. So that's how it works. So let me show you how this works. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying it's not a little messy, but it gets the job done. So I cut up the tomatoes, put them here. And I wouldn't, these tomatoes have the skins removed already, but I wouldn't have had to remove the skins to do this. And this is what the beauty is of doing this, is that you can do this with the skins on. It's going to separate the juice and the tomato peel. And like I always say, you are also going to be saving everything that's coming out of the food mill that's not juice. So you're going to be able to use all the parts of your tomato once you're done. So it is going to be a little noisy. Don't put your fingers in there. So the juice falls in the bowl, and then the peel and the seeds come out the top. And this can all be dehydrated. You continue juicing your tomatoes until you've gotten through all of your tomatoes. It's going to give you one container with your peel and one container with your juice. What you can do with your juice while you wait until you have time to actually do something with it is, what I do is I freeze it in mason jars. So I make sure that I don't overfill them, because then you have a risk of your jar breaking, and that has happened to me. So that's why I'm mentioning it. So don't overfill your jar. As you can see, I ended up with 2 quart jars and 1 pint-sized jar of the tomatoes that I juiced earlier, and this will be set aside freezing, so when I do my dehydration, I will have this all ready to dehydrate. So this is just one example of what you can do with your leftover tomatoes.